If you are over the age of 35, stop everything you're doing right now. After a lifetime of eating fatty foods, you may run the risks of a stroke or heart attack due to plaque buildup in your veins and arteries. To learn how you can reduce your risks, visit youthfountainlab.com or call 1-800-853-7856 today. This may be a life-changing call for you or someone you love. Thank you, and we hope to hear from you.
Benny Lasbury was a young, poor African-American kid who inadvertently got caught up in the mob when he came to the aid of a mafia captain under the attack by a group of assassins. Benny saved the man's life, and in return, he becomes the head of the mafia's drug operation. Buy The House of Lasbury in the description box.
Yeah, but we are essential people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's 100. And it's dope that you put a comedy special out during the time that you did, because we had Hope Flood on here, Miss Hope Flood, and she gave us a great interview, and shout out to Miss Hope Flood. But she went on and said that there's nothing funny to talk about right now. Nothing's funny. And she went on to talk about everything that we're going through.
Right now, what you're saying, you're like, well, what do you feel like with the climate and stuff? You know how hard it is for a comedian to be funny on stage when ain't shit funny right now? Ain't shit funny right now. And so it's very hard to get on stage and we're going to laugh about this when ain't shit funny. The pandemic, the last president, you know, all of these things, people losing their lives, people, family members are dying and they don't know what's going on. They don't know this was coming. They knew this was coming. They knew this was coming. Bush tried to tell them. That's why Obama put Obamacare in place, because he knew people were going to get sick who didn't have insurance. And so this, you could look at a Lysol can that says cures corona. Somebody said, well, that's a different strain. I don't give a damn. It still says killed corona. Where is that? We never even knew that existed. So where did this come from? From January to March, we was fine. Now from March on, we all infected. And if we are, how the fuck did we get infected? What happened? How did this happen? So right now, ain't shit funny.
Going through, and you flipped it. You did the opposite. You went in on every fucking thing. And I thought it was great and it was needed. And you were unapologetic about it in a society where I think comics are almost afraid to be unapologetic because of all this shit that goes on with cancel culture and things like that. You didn't care. Talk about how that went into your show, like just being you.
Well, you know, see, I mean, I guess you can call me OG because, man, all my heroes was rebels. I mean, you know, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Red Fox. I mean, what made them great was they went against the grain. I mean, I don't respect the comedian that ain't that's not fearless. You can only talk about sex so long, but you gotta be able to reinvent yourself several times. And I mean, hell, if you can't talk about it, it ain't worth it. The person living, because even they say no press is bad press. Even negative press is positive press. So if somebody talk about you, like they talking about Floyd Mayweather right now, talking about laughing at him for fighting the little white kid. What's his name?
Logan Paul.
Yeah, no, I mean, because I don't even consider him a boxer. But I mean, the sad thing about it is, there's some great boxers out there that probably won't never get that shine to fight somebody great like Floyd. But this dude got in there, and I wish Floyd would have beat the mess out of him real bad. But I think it was interesting because they said it killed boxing, but I keep thinking it keeps boxing alive. I mean, because nobody really going to the fight. Well, since Floyd never, Pacquiao is old, you know. So you know, I mean, I think it's, you know, when you look at it, like if you're afraid to talk about it, maybe it's not funny to you because you don't write like that. But I think if you're not telling these jokes, I mean, yeah, people died, but I mean, people really put a lot of drama. I think they changed the antenna on something, made people real dramatic. Cause we had Ebola, we had AIDS, they had a movie out called Philadelphia.
Tom Hanks
got an award for it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Ebola brother died in front of the hospital because they wouldn't let him come in. But we forgot about that. We had the bird flu. We couldn't eat chicken. I mean, we had the swine flu. Couldn't eat pork chop. I mean, we had a lot of things. Mosquitoes was killing Negroes at one time. And my uncle had to stay in the house. He was locked down for 3 years because he had that Dracar oil on him, you know? So, I mean, everything can be a joke. It's just the right time for the joke. And it's the thing about just touching it and dancing on it and coming off of it. Because, man, reality, I mean, I'm not gonna sit up there and be a comedian and be afraid to touch something because everything is funny. I mean, death, talking about somebody personally who died. I mean, because we all forget about what a person done when they're alive, when they die. Oh, we're gonna miss him. And yeah, but when he was alive, he held somebody hostage in his basement for 6 years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, that's how America is. We so fake, Oh, ain't nothing funny now. I mean, but I don't agree with Hope. I mean, I love Hope. Hope good people, but I just don't agree with it. I mean, if you can talk about sex, you can talk about everything else. That's why I'm with it on it. I'm cut different though. I think that I'm always writing and I'm always on stage giving it to it because I don't want to get comfortable just talk about the same old thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it brings guys like you to. I appreciate y'all watching the special. I honor that because a lot of people, a lot of times you put something out and people don't even watch it, and they be like, "When your next special, brother? I just did one last week." So I mean, and I think content is content, and I respect people like Cat Williams. Cat Williams he got on stage 9 specials and kept it real and just talk about it, And I remember Cat, he was open for me, and then he became the man, and he didn't just stick to the pimping stuff. Cat talked about relevant, controversial things that comedians, you got to make it laugh because sometimes you make it laugh to stand in front of people and put it in their ear to make them understand, man. Hey, man, sometimes we being bamboozled. I mean, we talk about that's racism. Everything ain't racism. American Marcos is not racism because she just got Black Thursday. I mean, we gotta understand. We gotta be honest with ourselves sometimes as people, But in America, we got a lot of things that we need to joke about and put them out there because we get looked over as Black people all the time, and sometimes you got to make jokes about people who getting the break that we ain't getting,
Right.
And I just talk about everything. I mean, we had a pandemic. We was locked in the house. You don't have no jokes about being locked in the house.
Word. Nah,
you looking outside, birds flying around, the sun's still in the sky, but I'm locked in the house. I'm wearing a mask. I can't breathe. Everybody look like bank robbers. We sitting up here. Some of these people, I've seen some people out of shape shouldn't have had no mask on. They can't breathe.
If you're over the age of 35 and over the years you've eaten pizza, dairy foods, deli meats, or meats with fat, you are likely to have some degree of plaque buildup in your veins and arteries. This increases your risk of suffering a stroke or heart attack exponentially, and no one wants such a catastrophic event to occur. Introducing Plaque Out. Plaque Out is made of all natural ingredients proven to help dissolve clots in the blood, remove calcium deposits and plaque from the walls of veins and arteries, improve viscosity of the blood, improve elasticity of the veins and arteries, treat varicose veins, and prevent the reoccurrence of plaque buildup. For more information, visit Youth Fountain Laboratory at youthfountainlab.com or call 1-800-853-78